So what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back to what's going to be Rant Round Dos. Yeah, round two. First one, the video you saw about that movie right there, Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire, ranting about availability. Well, I've got the next round of the rant about availability. It's related to Barnes and Noble. These two titles here specifically, but even more. Let's get into the video. Let's go.
Round two, fight.
So what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the JeffMan316 Pop Culture Reporter channel. I'm your host, as always, JeffMan316. And like I said, when we're talking about availability, and I'm going to center it around Barnes & Noble. But, you know, as we talked about in the last video, the little rant, that Godzilla X Kong New Empire Steelbook was impossible to find in stores. Not just by me, by a lot of you. And especially, I've talked to a bunch of you guys about it. A lot of people wanted it. So I'm assuming they just did all the pre-orders online and sold out of them, and there's no stock to come to the store. But with that, you go into one Walmart and they do have a price tag up for an item, and you go into the next one and they don't. There's no consistency with stock in Walmart. There's no consistency with them the way they put stuff on the shelf. The reason I don't post my hunt videos on Tuesday or Wednesday is I go in the stores on Tuesday and the shelves are empty. They've cleaned the old stock out and they haven't put the new stuff out. It's sometimes Thursday before they put the new stock out in my area. So I've had pretty good luck in the past with stock at Barnes and Noble, specifically, hey, the Criterion 50% off sale. And as you saw in one of my videos, I placed an order and I did a pickup. I talked about it in one of my weekly movie hunts, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, I ordered 5 titles. And before I could get to the store, I went to lunch. They said it'd be ready within a certain time, so I went to lunch around that time. I got the email that my order was ready to pick up, but only 3 of the 5 were available. These 2 here were not, even though it was listed as in stock. So it said I could order these online for shipping, so which I did. So I go into the store and I say, I've got this order to pick up, but I wanted to ask you about a couple titles. And she said, okay. And I said, well, why were they listed as in stock and they're not? And she said, more than likely they were popular titles and there was people in line at the store, or they just sold them before I ordered and they hadn't updated their inventory. I can buy that. I said, well, there's a lot of other titles that I saw in stock that I just went over and checked the shelf and they're not there. So that's not the case. There's nobody else in line but me. And I don't really see anybody in the store walking around with movies. So what would be up with that?
What's up with that? What's up with that?
Yeah, what's up with that? So I said, if I went back and I did an in-store pickup, what do you think's what is going to happen? And she said, well, more than likely the stock is in the back. And I said, well, if the stock is in the back, why wouldn't you have already rotated some of it out? It's the Criterion sale. Well, you're going to wait till the sale's over? Then there'll be less chance of you selling it. It's a brick and mortar store, no matter what it is, even if you don't believe in physical media as much anymore. Shouldn't everything in the back come out in a timely manner? And she said, yeah, but come back later in the week or do an order online. And then she said, more than likely, if the titles are there, since they're not on the shelf now, you'll probably get them. And I said, well, I don't know. I've done in-store pickups, not just here, but everywhere. And I've had stuff canceled before because the stock didn't match. So it's like stores nowadays, they know how to take the reservations. They know how to take the in-store pickup orders.
See, you know how to take the reservation, you just don't know how to hold the reservation. Anybody can just take them.
But they don't know how to hold the in-store pickup orders, or they didn't actually have them to hold to begin with. A little frustrated, I said, don't worry about it. I'll give you a couple days to put the stock out. I might place an order. I said, but I'm a physical media collector. I really do like to come and look at things and hold them in my hand. She gave me a weird look. So I waited. A couple days later, I drive by there on my way home from work and I stop. I look. Literally almost the shelf is probably got less on it. People have bought movies. There's even less. So I was going to ask about the stock, but the line was too long. So I didn't want to wait. So I waited until I got back in the car. And I called Barnes & Noble and I went through this whole story with the person I talked to. And I said, so do you think you might be stocking the Criterion stuff that it says online that you have, a lot of the 4K titles, but they're not on the shelf. And she said, yeah, more than likely we just haven't had time to stock it. So once again, I'm like,
a bullshit, a bullshit, a bullshit, a bullshit.
what do you mean you don't have time to stock it? Once again, isn't the purpose of a store to sell the stock and not just hold on to it? Plus, it'd be 50% off. You'd have way more chance of people buying it now than after the sale. So either way, I said, what should I do? And she said, give it another couple of days. Come in. I'm sure we'll have had time to stock it. So a couple of days go by. I check inventory before I'm taking lunch at work. There's several new titles that have come out in the last couple of weeks. McCabe and Mrs. Miller, I think that's the name of it. I wanted to possibly buy that. Another couple westerns. There's a couple of new titles that I always like to get, right when they come out during the sale. So I'm like, hey, it says they're in stock. I'll go by there and see. It's been another couple of days. They've got to have stocked stuff by now, right?
Yeah!
So I go into the store. There's a couple people waiting in line. Don't see any movies in their hands this time. I go back over. There's literally still nothing on the shelf. We're talking like almost 3 weeks now where they haven't put anything out. I'd say 2.5 weeks, right? That they haven't put anything new out. So what's the deal? So I went back outside to my car, and before I left, I called back to the store again. And this time it was a different voice. So I had to explain it all over again. Hey, I'm a physical media collector. I want to come in and look at your movies. You don't have new Criterion stocked. What's going on? Can you let me know? And she said, well, there's one of two things that could have happened. When you placed that order and we didn't have it, the person could have just not wanted to go to the back and look.
You gotta be fucking kidding.
I'm like, you really said that out loud? That the person in the store just didn't want to go to the back to look? She said, but more than likely, it's we just haven't had time to stock the items. And I said, well, somebody's told me that twice now, and it's been days. So you tell me a week's gone by, and you haven't had time to stock anything? And she said, yeah, we're really busy, but it's just movies, and we don't have as many people buying those as books, so we tend to take our time. I said, well, you do realize there's a Criterion 50% off sale right now that people like me want to buy them. And she said, well, go online. You can just order everything online. You don't have to come to the store. So I'm starting to get frustrated because I keep wanting to reinforce the notion that you have stock in the back in your store that you want to sell. And you want to put it out so that customers like me can come in and buy them, right? So at this point, I tell her, I know you don't understand this, but I'm a physical media collector. And I know some of you that feel the same way before I even say this, so don't make fun of this comment. I like to come into the store, pick up my items, touch them, feel them, look. Is the slip cover damaged like on this one? Some of them were. Did you have it to where some of them had, the bigger sets might have a security tag on it? Is it crushed? Is the disc loose? I like to pick it up, look at the artwork. Maybe there's 2 movies I'm thinking about. And while I'm in there, I decide, well, maybe I only want to give one, and I want to look at them and touch them and feel them.
And I will hug him and pet him and squeeze him and pat him and rub him and caress him.
They just don't understand the concept of wanting to hold the physical media in your hand before you buy it and look at it. And like I said, I know that's a silly concept. A lot of people have told me in the comments, just order it online. What's your problem? Well, I've ordered steelbooks online that have been broken in half when I get them. I was fearful of that it was going to be screwed up or dented or damaged before I went to pick it up. I want to hold my movies in my hand. I want to be the one that chooses, hey, you got 2 copies. Which one do I get? It's part of the fun. It's part of the, the feeling, the physical media, the euphoria that you get, the excitement about picking up movies. I guess people just don't understand that anymore. We're all digital and nobody gives a shit about that. But artwork means a lot to me. If I'm going to buy something with a slip, I want the best quality one. I like to touch and feel my movies. I want to pick them up. I want to be able to hold them. But obviously she didn't give a shit about that. And so I said, what should I do? And she said, Well, I don't know when we're going to get time to put the stuff on the shelf. So your best bet is probably just to order it online, or you could ship to store or ship to your home. And if something happens and it's damaged, bring it in. And if we do have it, then maybe we can swap it out. And I'm like, what happens if I come in, it says it's in stock, I want to swap it out, but it's in the back? Are they really going to go look then?
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
That was a rhetorical question. So I left again, once again. Talking to Barnes & Noble, it was like beating my damn head up against the wall. So I'm done. I'm going to go back in there at least once just to see. There are a couple titles that aren't in, slipcover type cases that I will probably go ahead and just order from Amazon. Or maybe I'll luck up and they'll put some in there and I'll get it. But either way, frustration about stock availability, specifically poor customer service, all of the above for Barnes & Noble. They suck. I just had to get a rant out there. So I know some of you don't give a shit, and I know some of you are going to think I'm exaggerating or whatever, but there are some of you who agree with a lot of my comments on here, because I talked to quite a few of you in DMs, specifically on Instagram. So hit me up at JeffMan316 there, and we can talk physical media and all these frustrations that we're going to about availability, stocking, all that kind of stuff. There are some of you that agree with me, so that's why I wanted to get this video out there. I feel a little bit better now that's off my chest. I'll go back in Barnes & Noble in a couple of days. We'll see what they have. It's on my way home from work, so it's not out of my way. But either way, I know what else is it shouldn't be out of your way, because you're right here watching this video. While you're here, hit the thumbs up, hit that like button, like, comment, subscribe, share, do all that normal YouTube stuff. Please consider supporting me, and after you subscribe, please hit the notification bell. You'll know when I post new videos. Somebody told me recently that they weren't getting notified. If you want to unsubscribe and then resubscribe back immediately and then hit the bell again, I think that'll fix it for some of you. It's fixed it for some people. But either way, I really do appreciate all the support you guys have been giving me. And like I said, hopefully we can have fun doing these little mini rants. I know it's not that important, but it's fun doing the videos and getting shit off my chest, especially with you guys. So I know some of you feel the same way. So I love you guys. And until next time, boys and girls, this has been JeffMan316. I'm your pop culture reporter, and I'm signing out saying you guys be safe out there.
That is one big pile of shit.